The patent document is dated March 23, 1876. A technology historian named Rachel Morrison finds it in the U.S. Patent Office archive. The filing number is partially obscured. The ink has faded to brown, but the technical drawings are clear, precise. Detailed diagrams showing architectural elements designed to collect and distribute atmospheric electrical potential for building illumination and power. Patent number 174,628. Filed by an inventor listed as N. Tesla and A. Mendeleev, St. Petersburg. The document is 73 pages, unusual for the period. Most patents were 10 to 15 pages. This one includes extensive mathematical calculations, material specifications, installation procedures, performance measurements from working installations. Working installations, plural. The patent doesn't describe a theoretical proposal. It documents existing systems, buildings already constructed, technology already deployed. The patent application is essentially a technical manual for replicating what was already operating. In the margin of page 18, someone has written in pencil, "Application under review by special committee. Classification pending. Public disclosure restricted." Public disclosure restricted. A patent meant to make an invention public in exchange for monopoly rights, marked as restricted. The contradiction is immediate. Patents are public documents. That's their purpose. Yet this one was restricted. The pencil note is dated April 7, 1876, 15 days after filing. The next page is missing, torn out carefully. The binding shows where it was removed. Page 19 is gone. Page 20 resumes with installation specifications. But whatever was on page 19, whatever caused the restriction, whatever made someone remove that specific page, is absent. History remembers progress but forgets what it replaced. Official history of electrical development follows a clear timeline. Edison's incandescent bulb, 1879. Tesla's AC motor, 1888. Westinghouse power plants, 1890s. The narrative presents electrical infrastructure as emerging in the 1880s to 1890s. Before that, gas lighting, mechanical power, chemical batteries for limited applications. Yet the 1876 patent describes functioning electrical systems in buildings 3 years before Edison's bulb, 12 years before Tesla's AC motor. The patent isn't proposing future development. It's documenting current operation. Buildings collecting atmospheric electricity, distributing it through copper networks, powering illumination and mechanical devices, all operational in 1876. Rachel photographs every page. The archive is cold. January. The fluorescent lights hum. She cross-references the patent with architectural records. The inventors list specific building addresses, 7 locations in St. Petersburg, 3 in Moscow, 2 in Vienna, the buildings where systems were installed, where atmospheric electrical collection was demonstrated, where the technology proved functional. She finds construction records, the St. Petersburg Administrative Building at Nevsky Prospect 64, completed in 1872. Original blueprints show copper rod arrays on the roof. Lightning protection, the official documentation states. But the patent reveals otherwise. The rods aren't grounded. They connect to capacitor banks in the basement, storage systems, distribution networks. The rods collect atmospheric charge. The capacitors store it. The building uses it. Fog presses against windows. Rachel had been researching for 8 months. The contradiction is stark. Buildings in the 1870s apparently collected atmospheric electricity, used it for power, documented the technology in patents. Then, what? The systems existed, were patented, then disappeared from historical record. Modern accounts don't mention them. Electrical history begins in the 1880s, as if the 1876 systems never existed. She finds a letter, written by Nikola Tesla, dated May 1876, to a colleague. The letter discusses the patent application. Our filing documents existing installations extensively. The committee shows interest but concern. They question whether atmospheric electrical collection should remain proprietary knowledge or be suppressed for public safety. I argue for publication. Mendeleev argues for caution. The technology works, but its implications trouble authorities. Buildings that require no external power challenge fundamental economic structures. They discuss managed rollout. I suspect they mean managed suppression. Managed suppression. Tesla's own words, suggesting the patent wouldn't be simply approved or rejected. It would be managed, controlled, released in ways that didn't disrupt existing systems, or not released at all. The Patent Committee's response, dated June 1876, survives in a separate file. Application approved with modifications. Technical specifications to be archived. Public abstract to be limited to general principles. Detailed operational parameters classified under national security provisions. Further installations require federal authorization. National security. Atmospheric electricity collection classified for security reasons. The technology that worked, that was documented, that was patented, placed under security restrictions, the detailed specifications archived, the public given only abstracts. Future use requiring authorization that, based on building records, was never granted. Cold settles into the archive. Evening approaching. Rachel has one more document, a building inspector's report, from 1878. The report evaluates the St. Petersburg installation. The atmospheric collection system operates as designed. During testing period, March to August 1877, building power requirements met entirely through collected atmospheric potential. No external fuel consumed, no combustion, no mechanical generation. Collected charge sufficient for 247 electrical lamps, 12 motor-driven ventilation systems, and heating element networks. System maintenance minimal. Efficiency exceeds 87%. Recommend expansion to additional civic buildings. Cost savings substantial. Cost savings substantial. The system worked, efficiently, reliably. For 18 months of documented operation, the inspector recommended expansion, but expansion didn't occur. By 1880, the building had conventional power systems installed. The atmospheric collectors were disconnected. The capacitor banks removed. The copper distribution network remained, but was repurposed for conventional electrical grid when that became available in the 1890s. What happened between the 1878 recommendation for expansion and the 1880 removal? The documents don't say. The inspector's reports end in 1878. The next building documentation is from 1880, showing the atmospheric system dismantled. 2 years. Gap in record. Transition from functioning, free energy architecture to conventional power with no explanation. Rain begins. Spring storm. The archive windows darken. Rachel finds architectural photographs. The St. Petersburg building in 1875. The roof shows copper rod arrays, precise spacing, geometric arrangement, not random lightning protection, calculated positioning. The 1876 patent specifies collector rods positioned at 6.4-meter intervals in concentric circles, total array diameter 64 meters, rod height 12.8 meters above roof surface. Those numbers again: 6.4, 12.8, 64. Multiples of the fundamental value appearing throughout all the systems. Bell frequencies, tower heights, heating networks, now atmospheric collectors. The technology wasn't isolated innovations, it was integrated infrastructure. Multiple systems built on the same mathematical principles, coordinated, complementary, designed to work together. The patent describes the mechanism. Atmospheric electrical potential varies with altitude and weather conditions, but maintains continuous presence. Collection apparatus utilizes vertical conductors to intercept potential gradient. Storage capacity of 64 kilowatt hours, achieved through layered capacitor configurations. Distribution network supplies building electrical loads with automatic regulation, maintaining 128-volt potential. 64 kilowatt hours. For context, modern homes use approximately 30 kilowatt hours daily. The 1876 system stored enough for 2 days of contemporary residential use, or 1 day of commercial building operation. The technology wasn't trivial, wasn't minimal, it was substantial, functional, scalable. Dust moves through lamplight. Rachel examines technical specifications. The capacitor design is sophisticated, multiple plates, dielectric materials specified precisely, paraffin impregnated paper, 0.64 millimeters thickness, layered in groups of 128 plates. The configuration maximizes storage in available space. The voltage regulation maintains safe distribution. The entire system operates passively once installed. No moving parts, no fuel consumption, just collection, storage, distribution. Modern atmospheric electricity research confirms the principle. Potential gradient exists between Earth's surface and upper atmosphere, approximately 100 to 300 volts per meter on clear days, higher during storms. The gradient results from global electrical circuits, thunderstorms, ionospheric currents, continuous processes maintaining atmospheric charge. The 1876 patent didn't invent atmospheric electricity. It harvested what already existed. Contemporary physics professors knew about atmospheric electricity. Benjamin Franklin's experiments were well known. The phenomenon was established science. What the 1876 patent contributed was practical application. Engineering that converted scientific knowledge into functional technology. Architecture that collected ambient energy. Buildings that powered themselves. Heat shimmers over modern cities. Summer. Rachel visits St. Petersburg. The building at Nevsky Prospect 64 still stands, renovated, modernized. She examines the roof. The copper rod arrays are gone, removed during Soviet-era upgrades, but mounting points remain. Circular patterns in the roofing material, holes filled but visible, evidence of what once existed. The basement is locked. Building management provides access. The capacitor room is now storage, filing cabinets, office supplies, but wall penetrations remain, places where cables once connected. The copper distribution network was salvaged when the building transitioned to grid power, but conduit pathways persist. The infrastructure's ghost, present in the building's bones. She finds a maintenance log, filed in the building's records room, dated 1877. The log tracks atmospheric system performance. daily collection averages 73 kilowatt hours. Peak collection during storms, 186 kilowatt hours. Minimum collection, clear winter days, 42 kilowatt hours. System reliability, 98.7%. Maintenance incidents, none. 98.7% reliability. Better than modern power grids. The system worked, consistently, for documented periods. Then was removed despite superior performance. The reasons aren't in the maintenance logs, aren't in building records. The removal is documented as fact, not explained as decision. Fog drifts through city streets. Evening. Rachel walks back to her hotel. St. Petersburg has changed, electrified, modern, grid-powered. But once this building collected its own power from the air, from the continuous atmospheric electrical gradient, from the same invisible resource that creates lightning, that charges clouds, that exist constantly, everywhere, waiting to be harvested. Modern attempts to replicate atmospheric electrical collection have limited success. Small-scale demonstrations work, milliwatts, enough to charge phones slowly, but nothing approaching the kilowatt hours the 1876 patent claims. Modern researchers face challenges: electrode design, charge accumulation, voltage regulation, storage capacity. The same challenges the 1876 system apparently solved. But how? The patent provides details, extensive details, 73 pages of specifications. Yet modern replication fails. Either critical information is missing, page 19 perhaps, or the documentation is incomplete. Or modern materials differ from 1876 equivalents in ways that matter. Copper purity, dielectric characteristics, geometric precision. Small differences compounding into functional failure. Or the whole thing is fabrication. The patent documents systems that never worked. The performance measurements are fraudulent. The building inspector's report is fiction. The maintenance logs are forged. Possible. Except the buildings existed. The roof mounting points are real. The basement cable penetrations are physical evidence. Something was installed. Something was removed. Whether it worked as claimed remains debatable. But something was there. Snow falls on archives. Winter returning. Rachel has published preliminary findings, academic papers, limited circulation. The reception is mixed. Some historians find the patent fascinating. Others dismiss it. Over-optimistic claims common in 19th century patents. Collection rates impossible given known atmospheric gradients. Storage capacity exceeds period capacitor technology. The patent likely describes aspirations, not achievements. Perhaps. But the buildings were constructed, systems installed, operated for documented periods, then removed. The sequence is fact. The effectiveness is debatable. The discontinuation is certain. She finds a congressional hearing transcript. U.S. Congress Committee on Patents, July 1876. Testimony regarding patent 174,628. Committee expresses concern that widespread atmospheric electrical collection could disrupt emerging electrical industry development. If buildings become self-powered, demand for central generation facilities will not materialize. The technology, while ingenious, threatens the economic viability of planned electrical infrastructure investments. Committee recommends restricting patent to experimental installations pending review of broader economic implications. Economic implications. The technology threatened business models. Power generation was becoming commercialized. Edison formed his company. Westinghouse was planning plants. The industry was emerging. Atmospheric collection would compete. Buildings wouldn't need power plants, wouldn't purchase electricity, wouldn't create markets for generators, distribution networks, metering systems. The technology worked or didn't work, but regardless, it competed with investments, with business plans, with the economic structures being built around centralized power generation. Whether functional or not, it was inconvenient, disruptive, better to restrict, to classify, to archive under security provisions, to let the industry develop without interference from alternative approaches. Gaslight flickers, modern LED. But Rachel imagines gaslight, the illumination under which these decisions were made. When someone chose centralized over distributed, grid power over atmospheric collection, purchased electricity over free energy, the decisions that shape the infrastructure everyone now assumes is inevitable, natural, the only way systems could have developed. But the patent suggests alternatives, buildings collecting their own power, architecture that harvested ambient energy, infrastructure that didn't require fuel, didn't create markets, didn't establish dependencies, different choices, different systems, different futures. Choices made, systems built, futures foreclosed, cold air settles, the archive closes. Rachel has documented everything: the patent, the buildings, the installations, the removal, the congressional concerns, the economic motivations, the restricted classification, the missing pages, the modern replication failures, the mounting points on roofs, the cable penetrations in basements, the maintenance log showing performance, the hearing transcripts showing suppression. Evidence accumulates, explanations don't. Today, atmospheric electricity research continues. Small scale, academic, experimental. Research papers document milliwatt collection, propose improved electrogeometries, model optimization strategies, but propose nothing approaching the 1876 patent's claims. The gap between modern demonstrations and historical documentation remains unexplained. Either the 1876 systems worked better than modern science understands, or they didn't work as documented, or critical information was lost, or materials have changed, or modern researchers lack context, or the patent exaggerated, or something else. The buildings stand, some demolished, others renovated. A few preserve traces, mounting points, cable penetrations, basement chambers where capacitor banks once stored collected charge. Physical evidence that something was installed, that systems existed, that technology was deployed, then removed, then forgotten, then rediscovered in archives, in patents that describe what seems impossible, in maintenance logs that document what shouldn't work, in congressional hearings that suppressed what threatened markets. If history is written by survivors, who erase the rest? The patent sits in archives. Page 19 missing. Public disclosure restricted. Technical specifications classified. Detailed operational parameters archived under national security provisions. The document exists, accessible, photographable, yet incomplete, deliberately incomplete, information removed, access controlled, knowledge managed. The buildings exist, modified, repurposed, evidence present but disrupted, mounting points filled, networks salvaged, functions changed. The infrastructure persists in fragments, in traces, in basement chambers and roof surfaces and cable pathways that once connected atmospheric collectors to electrical loads. Present, disconnected, waiting. The questions persist. Did the technology work? Why was it discontinued? What information is missing? Why classification? Why removal? Why the gap between documented performance and a modern replication? Why the congressional concern? Why the economic suppression? Why the architectural transition from atmospheric collection to grid dependency? The answers are scattered. In patents with missing pages, in buildings with filled mounting points, in hearing transcripts discussing economic disruption, in maintenance logs showing performance, in modern research showing limitations, in the disconnect between what was claimed and what is currently achievable, in the choice between distributed and centralized, between free and purchased, between buildings that harvest and buildings that consume. The choice was made, centralized won. Grids were built. Atmospheric collection was discontinued. The 1876 patent was restricted. The technology was archived. The buildings were modified. The mounting points were filled. The knowledge was managed. The market was protected. The industry developed. The infrastructure everyone knows emerged. And the alternative, buildings collecting atmospheric electricity, documented in patents, installed in real structures, operated for measured periods, performing as recorded in maintenance logs, then removed for reasons related to economic disruption rather than technical failure. That alternative was archived, classified, forgotten. Except in documents, in patents with missing pages, in buildings with traces, in evidence that accumulates but doesn't explain, in systems that existed but aren't remembered, in technology that worked or didn't but was discontinued regardless. The atmospheric electrical potential remains. The gradient persists. 100 to 300 volts per meter. Continuous. Global. Invisible. Waiting. Just as it was in 1876. Just as it was when buildings collected it. Just as it is now when they don't. The resource didn't change. The technology did. Or was changed. Or was suppressed. Or was replaced. Or failed. Or succeeded and was discontinued anyway. The fog rolls through cities, through buildings that once collected power from air, through structures that now purchase what they once harvested, through architecture that could have been self-powered but was transitioned to dependency, through infrastructure that exists in two forms, what was built and what remains, what functioned and what was removed, what was documented and what was restricted, what the patent proves and what history forgets. Yes, dear listeners, my research on Tartaria continues. I'm researching everything related to bells and architecture and presenting it to you. You can mention any parts that you're curious about or any research suggestions you'd like to share in the comments. Thank you for listening.